So today I've pulled a card from the Tarot of a Forest Witch Major Arcana deck. Because it doesn't come with its own guidebook, I'm going to use the Inner Tarot book. As you probably notice if you use my channel in general, this is obviously not my normal setup, and I'm just holding it by my hand, so forgive me if it's a little shaky. So let's go ahead and turn the card over and see what we have today. We have the Tower. Alright, so let's read about the Tower. She felt the world crumble beneath her, ungrounding. This reckoning forced her to respond by rising, first out of survival, then out of grace, arriving far above the ashes in awe and appreciation for what she has previously destroyed and what had almost destroyed her. Below her rested an earth that could not be shaken, moved, or disrupted anymore. Keywords: sudden change, upheaval, epiphanies, destruction, chaos, uncomfortable transformation, rebuilding foundations, awakenings, disasters, loss. The element associated with the Tower is fire. Here comes the Tower, stirring up some drama in your readings and cementing itself as possibly the most feared card in the deck. The Tower can trigger anxiety and fear because at its core it's a card of destruction and epiphanies. The upheaval can make us uncomfortable because we're left in the ashes, forced to redirect ourselves and rebuild in ways we didn't plan on. In the traditional imagery, we see a large and towering man-made structure that was built hastily, which, as you can see on this card, is not that. So I'm going to skip her description of the traditional card. If you're in the midst of this type of change and restructuring in your life, I see you. The way this card dismantles energy is intense and startling, but you are just as intensely resilient and strong. The prior lesson in the Devil card might have been alluding to this potential event, pointing out the patterns that were reaching a breaking point and illuminating spaces in our experience that must change. Sometimes this card represents an internal epiphany or awakening, the sort of aha moment that makes us quickly pack our bags, move cities, quit jobs, or suddenly want out of a long-term relationship. Without sounding like an irritating optimist, I want to assure you this revelation and destruction of ego-built energy will rock you, but also bring you closer to alignment. When the dust literally and figuratively settles, you might think to yourself, it was for the best. There's something empowering about this Tower energy if we allow it to simply be. We face a choice. We can either resist and deny that this change is happening, or we can walk through the flames, excited to see what we can burn or destroy in the psyche and find ourselves safely resting on the other side of the ashes. The good news is the Tower often burns quickly, intense for only a moment. Have compassion for yourself and others when it roars through a reading. The Tower requires us to surrender and shoves us towards a difficult lesson that sometimes change requires faith over fear. Affirmation for the Tower. I surrender as Spirit removes the obstacles that are not meant to be on my path. And she has a prompt for journaling. Reflect on and write about a time in your life when things had to fall apart to come back together. So I hope you got something out of this today, and I hope to see you again soon. And I hope next time I will be in my normal space.